Crypto.XL, where we uncover the hidden gems of the crypto market. Are you ready to discover the next big thing in investing? Get ready to embark on an exhilarating journey with us as we hunt for small-cap coins with the potential to explode. Join us as we dive deep into the world of small-cap cryptocurrencies, exploring their untapped potential and uncovering opportunities for growth that could turn your investment into a fortune. Whether you're a seasoned investor looking for the next big winner or a newcomer eager to learn the ropes, Crypto.XL is your ultimate destination for insightful analysis, expert tips, and the latest trends in the small-cap crypto market. Remember, this is not financial advice. Only invest money you can afford to lose. Don't miss out on the opportunity of a lifetime. Hit that subscribe button and join us on this thrilling adventure to uncover small-cap gems that could skyrocket your portfolio to new heights. Let's make 50-100x gains together.
And we're live. Good day, guys. This is Crypto.XL, back today with more crypto updates and news. And as predicted, the Ethereum ETF has passed Crypto.XL. All right. So the Bitcoin conference is underway. The Ethereum ETF has just been released, and Ethereum is having a little bit of trouble because Grayscale is unloading their position, because they have higher fees. So people are going to get out of the higher fee Grayscale Ethereum ETFs and get into the lower fees from their competition, which is, it's fine. A short-term sell pressure leads to opportunities. We on this channel, we look at the long term. So long term, there's another on-ramp for crypto, right? And we now have pension funds, we have municipalities, and we have governments that are talking about allocating funds into Bitcoin and Ethereum, especially Bitcoin. With the Bitcoin conference underway, we have some really, really high projections from Michael Saylor talking about the future of where he thinks that Bitcoin could head. And he's talking in the multiple millions, 13 million, I believe the number was, by 2045. So what does that mean for this cycle and what's happening? Well, the Bitcoin conference, right before the conference or right at the start of the conference, historically, Bitcoin is always retraced. It's always been, a pullback in the market, and the altcoins end up bearing the brunt of the damage. The altcoins will fall 20%, 30% when these conferences are underway. But as you're aware, what you're seeing right now is that we're rebounding and we've reached 69K. So if you look at the monthly chart on Bitcoin, or the weekly in this case, you would see now that we've hit the 69K mark multiple times, approximately 5 times. And the way how resistance works is if you continue to hit at the same point over and over again, that resistance weakens. And eventually, one time when you hit at it, you just break through, right? So it seems that we're very close to approaching all-time highs again. Because once we break through that barrier, we teleport up to 73K. And psychologically, what this does is that it gets people's mind prepared for a higher price Bitcoin, at least the FOMO. No one's going to want to miss out on this. So more and more people will pay attention to Bitcoin and run into the market. So we could end up teleporting from 73K to 85K rather quickly. and I'm just seeing what's on the charts. So within the next 2 weeks, it's very likely that we're approaching all-time highs again, and even more importantly, we might be exceeding all-time highs. So um, it's exciting, but the way I look at it is this pullback that we've had in the market now. It's been about 5 months, and I say pullback, and we're dealing with around 54,000 to 73,000, which again, it was fairly accurate. I think I said that the range could be anywhere from 52 to 73, somewhere around there. So again, that was another really good guesstimate prediction. None of this is financial advice, by the way. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just speaking my mind here in cryptocurrency. So if you look at the way that things are set up, it looks like all the ducks are in a row and everything is in alignment. It's like 3 miles long of dominoes and everything just falling into place. We have the presidential election coming up, and with the Republicans scheduled to take off, it seems like that's what's going to happen. No one knows for sure, right? I've never said I know any of this for sure, that this is definitely going to happen, because I'm not that presumptuous to believe that I can predict the future and I'm always right. I don't believe that. That all being said, though, it seems that Trump is going to take office, right? So we're looking at the optics of things, right? So it seems like he's going to take office, and it also seems, well, we know that he's going to be speaking today at the Bitcoin conference. We have already seen that Kennedy, prominent US politician, has come out and said that he would make Bitcoin a reserve currency for the US dollar, that he would be buying, I forgot the exact number, I think he said 500 Bitcoin. I forgot the exact number, but it's millions of dollars that he would be buying Bitcoin every single day. And he would make Bitcoin a significant part of the reserve currency. So like how the US dollar used to be backed by gold, he would back the US dollar by Bitcoin. And what this would mean for price appreciation, should anything similar to that happen in any capacity whatsoever, is it would skew the chart upwards to the right substantially. It would be a very big surge in the price of Bitcoin, and it would be a consistent long-term gain of the price of Bitcoin, right? So the price could go up and down 20% here, 10% there, back and forth. But if you zoom out and you take a look at the picture, Bitcoin could start performing like an altcoin within this cycle, if something like that were to happen. So, which would mean that risk on assets such as the coins that we cover on this channel could see a substantial boost. We're already expecting a boost because of the chart and the 4-year cycle. So we were already expecting a boost. But should we go into this presidential election with the undertone of, hey, Bitcoin is going to be used to back the US dollar? If we go into Q4 of 2024 with that statement, theory, idea, or belief, it could lead to ridiculous price appreciation of Bitcoin, but more importantly, the coins we cover on this channel, it could lead to life-changing gains. It could lead to complete, utter astonishment, to where the charts don't even look like it makes sense anymore. This all being done under the backdrop of retail not even fully being in the market yet. So what we're anticipating as we get into Q4 of 2024 is a whole lot of bullish news, speculation, a softening on the anti-crypto stance, an acceptance as crypto as a means of payment, and also of investment, the US citizens and Western citizens having more of an influx of cash, the lowering of interest rates, stimulus packages being given to the citizens, child tax care credit being increased, first-time home buyers getting a $10,000 package, the lowering of student loan debt or forbearance of student loan debt, and just a general stimulus package given to the citizens. Basically, people having more cash in general, because politicians want you to feel good while you head into an election. They want you to be happy about the economy. To do all of this, it seems like there will be a lot of debt making or a lot of money printing going on, because I don't know where else the money is going to come from, right? Because productivity is not going to increase 300% overnight. So the money has to come from somewhere. And where's the money going to come from? It's going to come from a promise made to future generations. That's where it's going to come from. So future generations are going to be paying for this. Because money is created out of thin air, but money represents time. It also represents value. It represents energy, life force. And it just doesn't, the idea of you print it and it comes out of thin air, but human beings place value on the money, right? So, and this value, if they just create it out of thin air, someone is going to have to pay for it, right? So all of these packages and these things sound good, right? And we could all use more. I know I could use more because life is expensive. Interest rates are high. More importantly, not interest rates. More importantly, inflation is ridiculous, right? Especially if you have obligations and you have, mouths to feed, and there's many of you, right? It's completely ridiculous at this point. I do feel for the younger generation because they can't afford to buy homes, and this is one of the reasons why people are putting off having families. By the way, because when you need someone to house, you need to somewhere to house your family. You need somewhere to sit down so you and your kid or your kids can have breakfast. And if the average price of a home is near $500,000, and the jobs don't pay anywhere near that, the job pays, 1/10, one 1/15 that, then people are going to postpone having families until they're more financially secure. They feel they could own a home. Instead of their 20s, they're going to go to mid-30s. And by the time they reach their mid-30s, the price of a home is almost $1 million, and they still can't afford it, right? So that's where we're headed. And that's why the thesis or the theory of you shall own nothing and you'll be happy, that's where that came from. Because they realize that people are going to not be able to own anything. Everything's going to be rented. Your home, your phone, as you see, you trade your phone in now, your services, your, Microsoft, your computer, everything's going to be rented. The car, they have 7-year car loans now. And it seems like I'm veering off topic, but this is all connected, because the only way to preserve your wealth is Bitcoin at this moment. There's also real estate, but the issue that you have with real estate is that the government could come and take it away from you. So let's say you own a piece of real estate and you managed to scrape and get it, and you have this huge loan, and let's say you paid $300K for your real estate, and 2 years from now, or sometime after you bought it, it's now worth $800K. Well, if with inflation and everything, you'll still be not that great, but you won't be as bad as most people. But the issue that you have is the property taxes that you had when you first bought the home could have, it could have multiplied by 4, right? You could have, when you first bought your home, you could have bought your home in a rural area, and let's say property taxes was $1,000. Because the price of everything's going up, and other people are going to fluctuate to your area. They're going to move to your area because they're looking for cheaper housing. The real estate value of the land and your property is going to increase. So Instead of paying 1,000 in property taxes, you're paying 4,000 in property taxes. So that's a 4x multiple, which is possible and which has happened to some places across the country. And this could happen within a short period of time, like within 7 years. So my question to you is, what's stopping them from, like, let's say you plan to stay where you are and stay put and that's it. Where 20 years from now, your property tax could go up another 3x. So this is why real estate isn't hedge. I'm not saying don't get into real estate at all, but I'm saying once you're into real estate, you're locked into real estate and you can't move. You can sell your property, absolutely, that's the case. But I'm just saying, if you look at the returns of Bitcoin, right? Look at the returns of Bitcoin over the past 16 years, and then look at the returns of real estate over the past 16 years. Compare the two. Bitcoin is millions of percentage points up, and real estate is hundreds of percentage points up. So there is no comparison. Secondly, you're subject to all the rules, laws, and regulations of your state, your city, your municipality, or your country. You're limited with what you can do, and you're limited with what you could, how you could shape your real estate, how you could build on your real estate. Do you want to rent out your real estate? There are rules and laws for everything. They have so many crazy rules and laws. A lot of rules and laws is like, in some places it makes it difficult for you to evict tenants that don't pay you. If people could stay in your home in some places for a year, 2 years, and not pay you anything the whole time, and you still have to pay the mortgage. It's just a lot of hassle, a lot of hard work. I believe that you should have real estate in your portfolio for those who can handle it. But in comparison to Bitcoin, if you're looking for just overall gains and safety and appreciation, Bitcoin is easier. And if you compare Bitcoin to something like gold, like let's say you have a lot of money invested. Let's say you have $10,000 of gold. Do you know what that looks like? You'll have to walk around with like a suitcase of gold or a lot of gold. Gold is heavy, gold is big, right? And it's visible. People can see it. So where are you going to go with that? Are you going to go on a plane with that? Are you going to take it with you? What if there's some kind of conflict or some danger where you're at and you need to relocate? You can't take the gold with you on the plane. They'll confiscate it at the airport. Okay? And in the future, they might want to confiscate your Bitcoin too, right? When I say the future, this could be 2 years from now. It could be sometime in the future. Let's say what we think might happen to Bitcoin actually does happen to Bitcoin, where Bitcoin starts approaching 500,000. These kind of price points. By the way, I'm not going to wait for Bitcoin to hit 500,000 to start selling my crypto. So that's not my trigger, by the way. But to make something clear, anything can happen with crypto and in investments. So let's say at some point in the future, right? Some point in the future, it hits these multiples. Let's say these people are right and it starts becoming really, really valuable. Some point in the future, it hits $1 million. Any country in the world that's fiat based, and they all are, that's watching their currency devalue against Bitcoin, and that needs funds to continue running, because every country has its own agenda, right? And countries go to war with each other. Unfortunately, this is a human condition, and this is what happens. This also happens in the animal kingdom, by the way, wars, fights. But they're going to need money to keep their Ponzi scheme going. Where's the money going to come from? I just told you, where's all this money coming from? I'm telling you, they have to create it. And when they create money, let's say you have a job and your job pays $40,000, right? And you have $1,000 in your savings account. Well, when they print up another $3 trillion, and the rate of printing is increasing, and the amount is increasing also. Pay attention to that. Before, you'd print up like $100 billion, it was a big deal. Now we're printing up $1 trillion on a normal basis. So they're going to start printing $2 trillion. And then one day it's going to be $4 trillion. And that one day could be 2 years from now. Okay. So when they start printing up $2 trillion, your $40,000 salary gives you the purchasing power in 5 years of $25,000, right? So what actually happened is that your wealth was decreased through no fault of your own. You're still you're still doing the same hard work you were doing before. So you are forced, and we are forced to create a hedge against financial ruin. Another thing that people don't understand is folks think that if I make a certain amount of money, if I'm doing really well as an employee, that none of this talk applies to me. Inflation doesn't apply to me. Well, the kind of money you would need to make, you'd have to probably be within the top 5 to top 10 percentile for it to not really affect you as much. Basically, you'd have to already be rich. You would have to already have assets, because the valuation prices of the assets are going to go and rise with the inflation. And that's why the rich really don't feel the money printing as much. But for 95% of the people, if we don't obtain assets, we're screwed. I mean, you're paying attention to what's going on, right? College tuition, right? We're seeing universities now, people are coming out with $80,000 in student loans, $100,000 in student loan debt. And the jobs, again, the jobs are not paying that, right? And when you come out with this kind of loan and this kind of debt, if you land a good job, you bust your butt to get a job, by the way. It's not guaranteed. You have to bust your butt. First, you have to be clever. You have to be really good at your craft, really good at what you're doing. And then you also have to be charismatic, and you have to have street smarts. So you need to have all of these credentials to land a job within your career, within the pay that you're supposed to be getting. And then you have to be in the correct location. If you're in the wrong state, city, municipality, you're screwed. And you have an $80,000 debt, and you're out there making, $40,000 somewhere, and the debt has interest on it, right? And this is just a student loan debt. I didn't discuss housing, right? Because what's housing now? Housing, a lot of places, $2,000, $2,500. These kind of, a lot of these. If you're in a close to a big city where you're gonna have that nice job, that's what you're paying for rent. Are you really paying attention? You're kind of forced. You're kind of forced to invest. You actually have to invest. Not financial advice, just my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor. You're actually forced to. You cannot keep your money in the bank as saving. I'm going to tell you already know, right? You already know why you can't do that, right? Because if you keep it in the bank as some kind of saving, they're going to print up. Let's say you have 10K in the bank, right? And then they print $2 trillion. Congratulations. In 5 years, your 10K is worth 5K, right? That's number one. So you've lost purchasing power. So you're screwed there. You're not getting any interest on it, right? Secondly, the amount of scamming that's going on, and it's going to get worse, by the way. The amount of scamming that's going on, and this scamming is being done by insiders, outsiders, former bank employees, people who intercept your mail from the mailbox. The amount of scamming that's being done going on is just it's absurd. So you really don't have you can't keep that money. I know the bank is FDIC insured, which is great. Another thing too is I wouldn't put it past the bank. I wouldn't put it past anyone that they'll just confiscate your money. I know that things are FDIC insured and this doesn't normally happen, and all of these. Look around at what's been happening, right? Over the past 2-3 years, we've had banks shut down. We had literally banks say, hey, we don't have the money to give back. We're just going to shut down. And then the feds came in and they propped up the banks and gave people their money back, right? But should things really hit the fan, and by hitting the fan, I think like 2026 things might really hit the fan. I think we get a boom first, and we get a lot of money printing, and a lot of money floods into the economy, and all these risk on assets go up in valuation. But then after the party is the after party, and after that everybody's drunk. Everyone has to deal with the hangover. And when we have to deal with the hangover, because we've been kicking this can down the road for a very long time. 2008 was a big crisis. We kicked it down the road, or powers that be that make the decisions were able to kick that down the road. But there's only so much kicking you can do, right? At some point, there's going to be a flush out, and there's going to be a really, really big change. And this big change might usher in a new monetary system. There might be a time of great turmoil, confusion, frustration. And the only person you'll be able to depend on, well, you have two people, right? You could depend on God and yourself. And the decisions that you make today, this year, right now, is going to shape your future. You could feel the change in the air. You can feel that things are not how they used to be. Things just seem strange. Things seem artificial. We're basically living in a digital world. We're living on our computers, on our phones. People are a little, people are not really normal. They're not. And if you look at the rates of everything, like if you look at the rates of probably, I would say, psychosis, neurotic behavior, isolation, even relationships. What percentage of young people are in relationships, right? Especially young men. What's the percentage of young men in relationships, right? I've heard some really weird statistics recently that I think it was like 60%, some really high number of young men into their 30s, or virgins, or no relationship. Some really weird statistic that really blew my mind. Basically, people are um, people are not engaged anymore, and they're not speaking to each other and forming groups as much. Um, that's a choice, by the way, so that doesn't have to be you. You can just go out and get some fresh air and talk to people. That really is a choice, right? But what I would recommend, not being a financial advisor, but what I would recommend is that you hodl a little bit of Bitcoin just in case, as an insurance package. You hodl a little bit of it just in case that if it does go to astronomical numbers, whether it's this cycle or 5 years from now, that you have some insurance that you'll be part of the 5%. Okay. In the meantime, and also at the same time, you be a human being. Make sure you have some friends and people that you can talk to keep your sanity and your mental health. Because if you're watching these charts every day and you're watching these things go zigzag up and down like that, it can be, it could really mess up your nerves if you're not a seasoned investor, So make sure that you're grounded, you're well grounded. Make sure that crypto is not your life. It's good to have it as a, like I said, insurance, right? Or something to do. But you have to live life. But keep that stuff in the background, right? Just in case if stuff goes to heck in 2026. I don't, in 2026, if stuff goes to heck, if the market starts crashing and all these other things, yeah, how much Bitcoin would you have? I wouldn't be fully into Bitcoin, like all Bitcoin. I wouldn't do that. But maybe using this cycle to secure some Bitcoin in the beginning, altcoins, and then into Bitcoin, flip some into Bitcoin, and also to acquire, make sure your place of living, where you live, that's paid for, most of that's covered. And if most of that's covered, then once stuff really starts hitting the fan and the price for rent starts going to $4,000, and the jobs are not there when the jobs are halved and rent is still high, at least you won't have to pay for a place to live, right? You need to survive first. So figure out your survival, make a plan for that. Um, Live within your means. Let's say you do really well this cycle. I wouldn't blow it all. I wouldn't do that again, because things could change really, really quickly. There's a lot of uncertainty going on. All right. But I say all that to say that we're still on track. Bitcoin's going to do really well Q4, Q4 2024, Q1 2025. Or all coins that I mentioned on this channel should go to astronomical valuations. And congratulations to you for paying attention, for not looking away, for not letting other things catch your attention. It's fine to do all of that if you're still accumulating and still buying the dip, right? So dust that in, forget it. Every time you see these wicks to the downside, like really big wicks, I would pick up a little bit more of these tiny microcap altcoins. By the way, if you look at Solana is kicking butt, man. Solana is really outperforming Bitcoin, looking strong. Casper is looking really, really strong. It's been strong for a long time. And we're heading to all-time highs for Casper again. Solana is pretty close to its previous, this year's all-time high was around 200, so it looks like it's approaching that. It's like 187 or something right now. So things are going according to plan. These microcap altcoins that I mentioned, remember, they're completely devastated. Remember, they were down like 80%. They were like down these huge numbers. And I was saying, hey man, just be calm and accumulate. I was saying that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to accumulate, right? My thesis was we're still in a bull run. I still believe we are in a bull run. So if I see these things fall to these dramatic levels, and I believe in the coins, like my conviction didn't change in the project. It's just market action, right? My conviction didn't change. If I still believe in a project, then I would use this as an accumulation zone, right? Which means that when the project returns to all-time highs, which I'm expecting it to do, and once it goes 4x, 5x that, which I'm thinking that it's going to do that, whatever it's going to do, remember, I never said I know for sure, but this is my thesis, right? So hear me out. So if this is my thesis, then why would I do something that's contradictory to my thesis? If I'm thinking that everything that I've lost on paper losses, unrealized losses, that's all going to be returned back and we're going to be at higher, then why would I sell, right? What's the idea? I'm going to sell because I think it's going to go lower and I'll just buy it back when it's at a lower point. How do I know when to buy back? How do I know if this is the low and it's not going to go lower than that? Number one. And number two, how has that worked out for you in the past? Right? I'm going to buy back lower. 3 out of 4 times, you end up buying back higher. And when you buy back, you have less quantity than when you begun with. So why would I put myself through all of that stress, all of that agony? Because I think I'm going to outsmart the market short term. I'm going to be a trader and I'm going to outsmart only the 5% of traders that actually win. I'm going to outsmart all of them. And get this, not only am I going to outsmart them, I'm going to outsmart the bots. I'm going to outsmart the AI that's doing all of this on algorithms. I'm going to outsmart everybody. Because when I was born, by the time I was 3 years old, they saw that I was a technical trading genius that knew everything. I mean, what is the theory behind that? And why would I stress myself and do something that I've proven to myself? Because a lot of you guys are probably some of the core guys that are in crypto that have been here and you've been paying attention and you've traded and you've seen what your average performance on trading has been over months, years. And you've seen that sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, right? But you've seen for the most part, it really doesn't work out how you would like it to work out, right? Because you can be up on 3 trades And then the fourth trade, it does, 70% of everything you've done is gone, right? So why am I stressing myself? Why am I doing all of this? When if I just bought really good projects at a really low price and DCA'd in on the way down during a bull market, and when Bitcoin hits its peak, start coming out then. If I did that, I would be making more money than my 1,050 trades in and out, during the week and during the month and during the day. I would have made a lot more money. So again, why all the stress? Well, it's really, the concept is simple. The execution is what gets most people because of the emotions, because we're human beings. But I say all that to say, congratulations to you for making the right decision, for checking out this channel, for being part of the few, the proud, the brave, the crypto millionaires. I hope to say that one day and that be you, right? And that be us. I hope that is the case. But what I will say, stay focused. We're at the last part of the relay. We're going to be heading into Q4 2024 really, really soon. And we're going to be heading into Q1 2025 really, really soon. So the question at this point would be, are we going to double top in 2025? Is it going to be a double top like it was last cycle in 2021? Last cycle, we topped out in April. In 2021, we topped out in April, and we also topped out in November. Is that going to happen again this cycle? Wish I could tell you. We will see. My suggestion to myself, for entertainment and educational purposes, not financial advice, would be probably to acquire some of the coins like VIA, DexCheck, Engine Starter, and to get some of the private sales, right? Because if we have a double top in 2025, you would still be getting crypto at bargain basement prices. You would have bought at that point, a lot of your projects will be maturing. If we get an extended cycle heading into 2026, you still have crypto bought at some ridiculously low price. And if Bitcoin at this point has breached the 100K and is flirting with some really high numbers, and I don't even want to say numbers because I don't know where it's going to go, what number it's going to be, right? If it hits these high valuations, maybe it goes higher than we all expect. Maybe it goes to 200K. We don't know. I don't know. But if we did, these projects that you bought now give you insurance that you can still get 100x from then. And understand my thinking here, right? My thinking is, if you put a little bit in now with some of these projects and Bitcoin ends up skyrocketing and lasts longer than before for some reason, ETFs being backed by the US dollar. If that were to happen, then for a low investment, you guarantee a huge reward because, these micro caps should go absolutely ballistic in an environment like that. Now, if I'm wrong and we top out early in 2025, that means that your investment with these projects gets wasted and they go to zero or a very small amount, right? But even then, they're not going to go to zero, right? You probably get your money back. Probably, right? Not financial advice. So your risk versus reward, you have to look at that equation, right? Your risk versus reward is the projects that you invest in now don't really do what you think they're going to do, and it's just like a flat line, no big deal, right? Oh well. That's your risk. Your risk is your initial capital that you invest, right? That's your risk. Remember, we've had a huge pullback. Altcoins are at their lows relative to Bitcoin. They're at their lows, right? So you're buying at their lows. So that's the risk. Risk is what you put in now. Do I think that VIA and DexCheck and Engine Starter and these launch pads are going to be at a higher valuation in 2025? Yeah, I kind of think so. Yeah, some of them I'm looking at like 40x, 50x. Again, not financial advice. This is just my opinion, right? You take responsibility for your decisions. I could be wrong, right? I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not BlackRock. I'm not the one buying Bitcoin, right? I'm taking strategic, technical guesses and chances here, okay? All right. So if my theory is correct, then what I pay for the launch pad, that price increases, right? What I pay for the projects on the launch pad, hey, I say maybe I have a 70% chance that we end up, going all the way to November 2025. By then, I would have been taking profit through because again, I don't know if we're going all the way to November 2025. I don't know that, right? However, I still will have Launchpad projects coming to me. So what I lose, if Bitcoin ends up pulling back or whatever, so I don't make that much on those projects. Okay. But if Bitcoin is still high, like let's say Bitcoin's above 100K, I'm still reaping rewards from the projects, right? So risk versus reward, I look at the risk like here and the reward is not even on the screen, right? So that's my theory there. But all right, I've been dropping a lot of information. Shout out to the Patreons. We've been buying the dips, right? Do check out my Patreon because you find out what I'm buying, you find out when I'm buying, right? I'm taking advantage of these huge discounts because I believe that in the future that they're going to be doing really well. So for learning and educational purposes, not financial advice and not financial purposes, but for learning and educational purposes, just to as a documentary, you can see what I'm doing. Feel free to join the Patreon so you can get the inside scoop of which cryptos I feel are the most undervalued and best risk reward. By the way, I'm seeing a lot of meme coins that are doing well too, so there might be some memes that I do pick up. I will say that because of risk reward, I'm mostly focused on things that I feel the risk is not as high. Like the memes, the risk in the memes is like ridiculously huge, and some of them, by the way, are going to go 800x and these kind of numbers, right? But you'd have to be willing to lose money on a lot of them that go to zero in order for you to hold the one that goes to 800. And if the one that goes to 800x, are you really going to hold it until it goes 800x, right? So again, check out the Patreons. You're going to find a lot of nice and good information in there. And thank you again for checking out the channel, for liking, subscribing, and sharing this information. This is a tiny YouTube channel that's giving a huge amount of alpha in a short amount of time. This one was a 40-minute video, so the amount of alpha in this video was tremendous. At least I believe so. And the irony of the whole thing? Check this out. The YouTube views are down, and they've been down for a while. The Patreon numbers are down, it's been down for a while. Unfortunately, when it's the top, and once VIA is going 40x, once DexCheck is going, 35x, 50x, that's when the YouTube views are going to be at all-time highs. That's when the prices are going to be at all-time highs. So again, pat yourself on the back for hanging in there and for doing what's smart, for paying attention when it matters. Because the opportunity is not going to be here when we have $120,000 Bitcoin. It'll still be opportunity, but the risk is too high, right? And it's not the same opportunity as you have now. It's a completely different equation. When Bitcoin's at 120K, then DexCheck is at 60 cents or some number like that. Again, you want to take advantage of things when you can, when they're low. And do remember that the full retail interest is not even here. A lot of this market is being ran by institutions. That's what's pushing the price of Bitcoin up. So once they get everybody hyped up, Going towards Q4, that's when all of this extra money is going to be dumped into the market. So again, pat yourself on the back. All right. This has been Crypto.XL. I will catch you at the top.
Welcome to Crypto.XL, where we uncover the hidden gems of the crypto market. Are you ready to discover the next big thing in investing? Get ready to embark on an exhilarating journey with us as we hunt for small cap coins with the potential to explode. Join us as we dive deep into the world of small cap cryptocurrencies, exploring their untapped potential and uncovering opportunities for growth that could turn your investment into a fortune. Whether you're a seasoned investor looking for the next big winner or a newcomer eager to learn the ropes, Crypto.XL is your ultimate destination for insightful analysis, expert tips, and the latest trends in the small cap crypto market. Remember, this is not financial advice. Only invest money you can afford to lose. Don't miss out on the opportunity of a lifetime. Hit that subscribe button and join us on this thrilling adventure to uncover small cap gems that could skyrocket your portfolio to new heights. Let's make 50-100x gains together.
And we're live. Good day, guys. This is Crypto.XL, back today with more crypto updates and news. And as predicted, the Ethereum ETF has passed